Welcome to the Health Solutions for the Wildlife Radio Show, our radio show dedicated to empowering all computer users to get a solution to the health problems inherent in today's wired life. This is the number one health issue for the 21st century. My name is Adetutu Ijoshi. I am talking to you from the Vauxhall area of Union Township in New Jersey, here in the United States. I am a coach, author, consultant, and speaker on health solutions for the wired life. I help people to understand the wired life, what goes on in their bodies when they're using computers and or computerized devices such as cell phones, iPads, and so on. You never thought those were computers, right? But they actually are. This radio show is taking place at 6 p.m. today and will take place every Friday evening unless there are programming changes. We will be continuing where we left off last Friday. If you have not been listening to the broadcast, I urge you to do so after this one. So I urge you to listen to all the old ones after this current one so you can fill in the gaps. Okay, I would first like to remind us of some foundational facts, which I will keep on repeating every broadcast to help keep us focused. Okay, first of all of us work for a living, either for others or in our businesses, and our intention is to do so to live. However, because of the ignorance about the wired life we are all living, its effects on human health, and the preventative and management measures that must be in place to minimize it, many of us are really working for a living to die or at best live damaged lives. Secondly, the adage knowledge is power is perhaps truest in the issue of health solutions for the wired life. You must, however, first obtain the knowledge to access its power. Thirdly, computers are here to stay. We have so become dependent on them that humans will continue to use computers until our maker rescues us from what we have unleashed upon ourselves. Fourthly, the computer is a dangerous tool like a knife. And just as we have to learn to use the knife in such a way that when the driver sees all the time, so we must do with the computer. As losing control to the knife is suicide, so is losing control to the computer. Consequently, on these shows, I will be giving the audience an understanding of various aspects of the wired life and the health consequences, as well as the solutions provided for us in nature by our Maker. Last week, we continued the conversation that I started 4 weeks ago about two issues I recently read about in the news. First, I read that in addition to the increasing incidences of ADHD amongst our young ones, doctors are now beginning to see a growing rate of slow cognition. Secondly, I also started a conversation about the increasing rate of stroke in people in their 30s and 40s. As I said, and we keep on telling us, these are all very interesting developments whose advent can be directly connected to the advent of increased computer use. I'm going to continue that conversation today. We have all had 4 weeks of interesting conversation. I provided some background information about how the human body operates and how the balance of biochemicals in us determine our actions and abilities. We learned that we must always remember that we are living computer systems operating within the computer system of nature, and that the use of computers can be described as the outsourcing of human functions and activities to non-living things. We also learned that we yield to being controlled by non-living things during computer use without a force. Hence, the control we all run away from in our relationships and in dealing with other humans, we freely enter into. Unfortunately, controlled by non-living things are a gross violation of our coded way of being. We also learned that the effects of slow cognition include computer addiction, procrastination, trying to get computers to become our nannies, a function they cannot carry out, which is an evidence of the effect of computer use on the human mental health and ability to correctly determine the consequences of our action. And then several other consequences. There's a long list. We spend most of every day wired to computers that deplete our biochemical resources that we need to take the decision to self-protect and carry out our self-protective actions. This is a big problem and has a devastating consequence, and the consequence accumulates every day. We learned that regarding the issue of stroke, many computer users routinely have minor aneurysm but fail to accept or recognize it. Hence, here is where we'll continue today. And as part of the conversation concerning stroke, I would like to tell us that the heart is an electrical organ that can be overwhelmed by the constant flow of toxic electrical currents coming off the computer screen in the way of light, images, and words. Especially as many of us do not eat diets specifically geared towards replacing nutrients that become depleted as they're heavily used in performing the activity of computer use. Let us chew on this information right there, and we will continue with the topic of strokes next week. Meanwhile, another issue that has begun to circulate in the media is the possible effect of computer use on the growing brains of children. And there is actually a study that is being done in Europe right now, trying to do something to try to understand what is going on. And there is also a report of an alarming increase in pancreatic and liver related issues. The poisonous lights from operating computers do affect the immune system. That's a fact. I know this firsthand. Yes, I know firsthand how devastating this can be, and I have been able to use my experience to help many people. I have met people who have been misdiagnosed as having various immune system issues and medicated with dire consequences because they and their doctors failed to consider the health effects of their computer use. We will explore this issue in coming weeks. One last thing to remember for this week: the fact that we have globally, collectively decided that the best way to build a global economy is by destroying nature and trying to fix it. A feat we have no ability to do is evidence of the fact that we have a global mental problem. Think and chew on all these statements until next week. Okay? Here we will stop today. We have a lot to chew on. Next week, we will continue where we stopped and discuss more on how and why misdiagnosis takes place, as well as what we can tell our doctors to help them understand better the issues we are facing. I cannot overemphasize the need to go back and listen to prayer episodes, even if you have been around every week in the past 4 weeks. We humans need to hear things many times before it sufficiently gets let me say that again. We humans need to hear things many times before it sufficiently gets coded into the database of our hearts for us to take action concerning it. To get more understanding of these issues, please get a hold of my books, starting with the first one, Lessons I Learned the Hard Way. They are all available at Amazon.com in print and in ebook format for most ebook readers, including Kindle, iPad, Sony, Kobo, and so on. Also, visit my website www.foodsthathealdaily.com. The name is a combination of 4 words. The word foods, FOODS, that, THAT, heal, HEAL, daily, DAILY. That is www.foodstathealdaily.com. Okay, there you can find more information. You can also direct people there so that they too can learn more, as well as purchase my books through the book gallery on that site. There are 15 books so far, and I'm on my 15th. I'm on my 16th. I've written 15 books so far, and I'm on my 16th, relating to this issue of solutions for computer use induced health conditions. I have a second website currently in the repair mode, and that is www.computeragehealthrisk.com, which I will inform all of us on this show about when it becomes available. Meanwhile, go to www.foodsthathealdaily.com for all your information. Come by again next week. If it's Friday at 6 p.m., it is time to learn more about the wired life and how you can protect yourself. Contact me by email at adetutuijoshe@gmail.com. That is my first and last name at gmail.com. That is adetutuijose@gmail.com. Or you can use computerblessings@gmail.com if you prefer. See you again next week. Meanwhile, share this broadcast with all you know in every way you can. Share the YouTube video link, let it go viral, and let the media begin to talk about this issue. And let there be a national and global conversation that saves many lives, including yours. Thank you and good night.